Last month, Aloft joined many other survival games in early access, and got off to a great start, but definitely needs fleshing out before it can tackle the mighty juggernauts in the genre. That being said, I got to thinking about what exactly are the best survival games around. That's what this video aims to set straight. Just to clarify real quick though, I'm only counting full release games here on this list. While early access games like Valheim and Enshrouded could no doubt find their way on this list here, it doesn't feel right to put them up against the likes of games fully completed, especially as it would potentially make this list outdated very quickly. So, without further ado, my top 10 best survival games.
Even in this shattered world, a home can be made. Although broken, the land provides.
Taking everything from the first game and making it better, Sons of the Forest stands out as an absolutely amazing survival horror game. With beautiful graphics, an array of gameplay mechanics that seemingly benefit any kind of survival gamer no matter what your preferences may be, and an intriguing story really make this a well-rounded game experience for any and all survival fans. Bigger and better than ever, Sons of the Forest is a fantastic game for all. The thing I love most about Grounded is that you never feel like you're ever stuck in a grinding loop. Survival games can definitely get stale, something early access titles constantly have issues with. But Grounded made good use of its early access period to develop a fully fleshed out world full of fun, quirky, supremely well-designed gameplay features, gear, environments, and more. It's a wonderful blend of nostalgia bait, well-written story, and intriguing twists on genre staples that propel Grounded into video game history. I also just have a super soft spot for Obsidian. Love those guys.
Your backyard.
Darkwood might just be the epitome of the survival genre. I say that because in this game, survival is the only real objective. Featuring absolutely terrifying environmental design, weaponizing the fear of the unknown as the game constantly throws new dangers and obstacles surrounding nighttime in a mysterious forest, Darkwood is a super horrifying game that forces your fight or flight to deliver a true survival experience, whether you like it or not. While this game is not for the weak, I would definitely recommend giving it a try, if you dare. A completely addictive 2D sandbox, Terraria has stood the test of time to remain one of gaming's best survival games for almost 14 years now. Taking Minecraft's approach to storytelling, Terraria allows for players to make their own story, giving gamers the freedom to explore at their own whim, and rewarding those who do with a ridiculous amount of variety in its crafting, monsters, and charm. Utilizing a retro aesthetic that doesn't fade with time, Terraria is a classic survival game that isn't going anywhere anytime soon. This War of Mine hits hard. In an era where FPS games are all the rage and people love to simulate the fun excitement of war, this War of Mine turns all of that on its head to deliver a game where you are struggling to keep innocent people alive in wartime. Another devastatingly raw example of survival, this War of Mine is a powerful game that, alongside fantastic game design, demonstrates an antithesis to what many modern gamers were leaning towards. While the game has had modest success, I will continue to champion it for years to come because it's a game I think everyone should experience at least once in their life. In The Sims Meets The Martian, Oxygen Not Included is an extremely deep, thoughtful space survival game that sees you colonizing a procedurally generated asteroid filled with resources, style, and of course, lots of problems to manage successfully, hopefully. What makes Oxygen Not Included stand out is just how much depth is crammed into this title. From materials to room designs to NPC personalities, the attention to detail given here goes far and beyond your typical genre entry. Definitely bolstered by its early access period, Oxygen Not Included has emerged as a titan of the genre and a huge hit for people who enjoy colonizing space with cute little avatars. While they may have released a sequel last year, there's no topping the groundbreaking original that is Frostpunk. This game is a truly evil one, a colony management survival game where doing the right thing will get you killed. Humanity is on the brink of extinction, and Frostpunk forces you to make the tough calls, or lose the whole species for it. It's a brutally challenging game that will test even the most veteran survival game enthusiasts, but for those brave enough to face the challenge, you'll find one of the most rewarding and revolutionary games out there.
Finally, the time has come to build the last city on Earth.
Subnautica is the type of game that gets in the way of ordinary life. You cancel plans because you're just too engrossed in its sci-fi world, you call in sick to work or school because you just can't stop exploring, or you have to strategize after being completely trounced by a horrifying new sea creature. But despite having some spooky moments in a hauntingly lonely environment, it also creates serene, calm experiences through it. With breathtaking views and fluid movement, pun intended, Subnautica is one of the best single-player experiences of the last decade.
A diverse and healthy ecosystem. Exploration is conducted at your own risk. Utilizing alien resources is a...
It may be blasphemy to not see Minecraft top this list, but make no mistake, Minecraft is still one of the greatest games ever made. It's the true godfather of sandbox games, the best-selling video game of all time, the supposed king of the crop. I would argue that it is because of this that the game cannot remain the top dog forever. It left an awfully large gap in quality for the genre back in 2009, and developers have had a long time to try and catch up. But even 15 years later, Minecraft continues to innovate and capture the hearts of new fans every single day, and deservedly so. It's an absolutely monumental gaming experience.
Protect yourself with the strongest armor that you can craft, and fight off the dangers of the night. No one can tell you what you can or cannot do, with no rules to follow.
Before we get to my number one pick, here are some honorable mentions. Starbound, a fantastic crafting and exploration game that never gets boring. Kenshi, the Dark Souls of survival games, not for the faint of heart. Pathologic, an existential classic with a creepy, horror-filled world to explore. RimWorld is a game that constantly surprises you. With dangers lurking around every corner, it pays to think ahead. And then try to think ahead of that as well. The sheer variety of random events that occur in each run propel user-created stories, always vastly different from another's. It's an ever-changing game that never gets old, an experience that remains in constant fluctuation, due to the vast amount of systems and depth put in place over the years of development. It's impossible not to get hooked on its systems, trying to understand every little bit of the game, to try to come up with new strategies for your colony, only to continually be surprised by what the game has to throw at you next. RimWorld is the pinnacle of survival games, and most certainly the very best one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to let me know your favorite survival games down below. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys next time.
Greg and Elena married.
One must compromise one's standards here.
For company, we tamed turtles. But not everything could be tamed.